All right, let's get this over with.
Oh, hey, I'm glad you're here. I was wanting to get your opinion on something. I got the Super Bowl banner, or the pennant. I'm trying to figure out where it should go. If I should do a little lower or maybe a little higher, like up here somewhere. Well, what do you think?
I mean, I think you could take it and shove it up your.
Oh my God, we did it!
My dick is big, my dick is wide, my dick is huge.
That's right. Super Bowl, here we come.
So you're saying there's a chance?
We're ready to tear this baby up.
Why? Good afternoon, football fan. Wait, excuse me 1 second here. Hold on. The tears of the haters always taste so wonderful. Hello, everybody. This is the Trajan Temple Sportcast. This is the Super Bowl recap edition of the Trajan Temple Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler, and Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs fanatic, Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by my good friend, he was supportive of the San Francisco 49ers. That is, in fact, the shirt that he wore at my Super Bowl party this year, which, thanks for coming again, bud. It was great to have you there.
Last one you'll ever see me at.
Well, let's hope that's not the last Super Bowl the Chiefs are at. Well, one thing you can say about the Super Bowl, it was a pretty good game, I have to say. You know, we were hoping it wasn't going to be a blowout, whether it was one way or the other. Although I probably wouldn't have been too upset if the Chiefs were the ones doing the blowing out of the 49ers. But yeah, it was back and forth. It was some great offensive displays, some fantastic defensive displays. Special teams played a huge factor in this game. I mean, twists and turns everywhere you look, and what a game. We got an overtime special, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you want to get this party started, so let's just flip on over, not waste any more time here. And let's hear it one last time for this season, Kingdom. Super Bowl champs, how about those Chiefs? Back to back Super Bowl champions. And I know you're just itching and scratching to get that San Francisco 49ers shirt off. So why don't you go ahead and do the honors there, too? You put your faith in this team.
Well, this is the last time I freaking put my faith in the 49ers to beat the Chiefs. Because that was pathetic.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. They put up a good fight.
They were projected on ESPN to win pretty much the whole game until right at the end.
Right at the end. What was the highest? I looked it up. What was the high? They had like an 85% chance at the peak or something like that.
87.7.
Really? 87, huh? You don't say.
Get something on here.
There you go. Hey, looky there. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. Well, I guess there's one good place to start. It's from the beginning, and we start with the opening coin toss. The Chiefs win the toss. They defer to the second half, as they have done pretty much all year when they've won the coin toss. The 49ers start off hot. They get a good pass play to Kyle Juszczyk in the beginning. They get Christian McCaffrey going off hot, but 5 plays, 48 yards later, what I thought was going to be a huge statement for the Chiefs defense. A fumble caused by Leo Chanel, covered by George Karlaftis. Huge forced turnover in their territory, and the Chiefs get the ball. They have a chance to go down the field, and they do absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Quick 3 and out. I mean, we kind of touched on it, like, start of the game. It was going to be a defensive struggle. We got 2 of the top 5, defenses in the league going back and forth with each other, which was evident by the fact that the 49ers also punted. Chiefs get the ball back. They end up punting again, and the 49ers get it, and they go 10 plays, 46 yards, and William Moody getting a field goal to start things off, get the party started with, at the time, was a Super Bowl record field goal kick.
Yep.
More on that later. 55 yards for Moody. Pretty impressive for a rookie, gotta say. Biggest stage, the Super Bowl and everything. Well done by him. Chiefs get the ball back. They are driving down the field. And got a chance to put some points on the board. Long pass play to Mecole Hardman. Excellent drive, which the very next play ends in an Isaiah Pacheco fumble. So, you're the two best running backs in the league. Each surrender the ball, and the 49ers stall the momentum for the Chiefs. But luckily, defense steps up once again, forces a punt. All right, maybe another chance for Kansas City to go down the field. Nope, another quick 3 and out. Got to punt again. And this time, the 49ers made them pay. 8 plays, 67 yards, which ended up with a very impressive trick play. Backwards pass to Juwan Jennings, passes it back to Christian McCaffrey, who gallops into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. They go up by 10. Wait a minute. They're going up by 10 in the Super Bowl against Kansas City? Have they learned nothing from 2019? But the Chiefs do get the ball back. They go down the field before halftime, and they do get 3 points. So, at the very least, it's a one-score game going into the half. The offense was, struggling except for that one drive that ultimately, unfortunately, ended up in a fumble. You were there with me. What were your thoughts of the first half watching this game?
Well, outwardly, I was rubbing it in. Inwardly, I was thinking this game's way too close. They should be far ahead by now with how sloppy you guys have played in the first half. Mm-hmm. A Christian McCaffrey fumble doesn't happen. They're at least 13 points up. Mm-hmm. It's they had their foot on the throat and they couldn't capitalize in the first half.
Yep. And by the same token, too, the Chiefs with that big play get Pacheco in the red zone, and who knows, we could have been looking at a tied game going into halftime, or at least 10-6. But nope, it was the advantage. At least defensively, they were pretty even. Offensively, I would give the edge to the 49ers in that they were moving the ball. Their stalling didn't. A few times it happens, quick 3 and outs, but the Chiefs just could not get anything going down the field outside of that long bomb to Mecole Hardman.
And historically, you guys don't like holding on to the football.
Yes, there was a muffed punt that was in there too. Luckily, Richie James was able to jump on top of it, unlike a certain play that we will touch upon here momentarily. Chiefs get the ball back first, chance to go down the field and either get 3 points or potentially tie the game. And Mahomes, with pretty much his only crucial mistake in this game, rolls out to his right, and I still can't 100% say if he was trying to hit Kelsey. I want to say he was, because if he was trying to hit MVS was like double covered. So it would have been an ill-advised throw anyway. If Kelsey at least, had room underneath, but he overthrew him, he underthrew MVS, interception 49ers, but once again, the defense stepped up when they needed it to. The 49ers had a chance to get some points off turnovers, extend their lead, but defense forces a 3 and out, so good on them. A couple more times trading 3 and outs here. Chiefs finally go on a 9-play, 47-yard run that ends in a 57-yard Super Bowl record field goal by Harrison Butker that, oh my God, if you look at that replay, like
early,
a hand here, and the ball was somewhere in the middle. I watched the NFL Super Bowl mic'd up edition, and Fred Warner actually had a good point because he was on the field and he didn't run up and try to block in the middle. If he would have done so, I guarantee he would have had a block, especially if he was in between the two defenders that had their hands up there. Straight up line drive kick, barely getting over the crossbar, but it makes it through. We've got a 10-6 game. The defense holds once again. They got to force a punt, but unfortunately, once again, a lot of quick 3-and-outs in this one. San Francisco's defense holds the Chiefs to a 3-and-out again, and this was probably the true turning point of the game. A punt by Tommy Townsend that truthfully should have resulted in a running into the kicker penalty, which would have gave them a first down. But I will take the actual result of what happened here. I don't remember the name, but one of the gunners for San Francisco, you could see Ray McLeod, pointing, and I don't know if he was yelling the code word, if he was yelling Peter or whatever their code word is to get away from the ball. But oof, you want to talk about by a foot? It was literally just off the side of that special teams player's foot. Ray McLeod, to his detriment, he really should have just fell on the ball, but he tried to scoop it up and run with it. That was ill-advised. He couldn't get it, and Jalen Watson with the key recovery, setting up the Chiefs in prime field position, and it only took one play, 16-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Touchdown, Kansas City. They take the lead 13-10. And yep, like I said, that was, at the time, it seemed like the turning point. The momentum was going right into the favor of the Chiefs. But credit to Kyle Shanahan, that offense. They go right down the field, 12 plays, 75 yards. Touchdown pass to Jawan Jennings. They take the lead. However, in what was also a very crucial special teams play, Leo Chanel had the fumble earlier, and this time a blocked point after attempt that kept the game within a field goal. You want to talk about plays that, are very meaningful in the long run. That point after block, that had to be the biggest one, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. By far.
And towards the end of the game, a lot of, oh boy, it was getting pretty touchy there. Trading a bunch of field goals. Kansas City had a chance to go for a touchdown pass, and that bad snap, the low snap to Mahomes on the last play before the game-tying field goal. Rashee Rice was wide open in the middle of the field, and he would have walked into the end zone if that snap was just a little higher. But Mahomes did the right thing, throw it away, make the defense unable to intercept it, and just take the points, and you're going into overtime. So you're sitting there watching this too with me. Overtime. What are we thinking here?
At that point, in my head, I was thinking you guys won. I was preparing myself to hearing everyone scream in the room that the Chiefs win their second Super Bowl in a row. I was prepared.
Well, you had to wait a little bit longer, but eventually you got it. No, I mean, it was back and forth. I mean, the defense. One thing I kind of glossed over here. Before the game-tying field goal, the 49ers were driving down the field, and they had an opportunity. They were one first down away from running out the rest of the clock and maybe kicking a field goal with like 5 seconds left, similar to what happened last year with Kansas City against the Eagles. Trent McDuffie, perfect timing with the blitz, able to get a piece of the ball with his arm, knocks it down, and force the field goal. Once again, everyone talks L'Jarius Sneed getting snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Trent McDuffie, what a season he's had too. He's still yet to have an interception, but he's been absolutely lights out as a defender alongside L'Jarius Sneed. Our secondary has been fantastic this year, even battling with the injury from Brian Cook and Mike Edwards this whole season. But yeah, we're going.
I note on that.
Oh yes,
Spagnola, third down. He always sends the house. Why don't you have a play for that? Little dump, boom, right where the blitz is coming from.
It's crazy. It's as if that might be something a George Kittle might be able to do or something like that.
Yeah.
More on him in a little bit. But yes, we're going to overtime, and in hindsight, I didn't think anything of it, but hindsight is hilarious because there were several 49ers players that admitted that they had no idea the rules had changed for playoff overtime. And they had a close-up of Mahomes' face on the coin toss. And the 49ers win the coin toss, and they elect to receive. Mahomes' eyes kind of widened a little bit. He could not believe that they called that, because if the Chiefs would have won the toss, they would have kicked. They were going to kick the ball, because no matter what happens, you get the ball second no matter what, and you have an opportunity to get that extra down as well. And I imagine they'd probably go down, and even the 49ers, I think someone mentioned this, if the 49ers go down and get a touchdown and the Chiefs go down and get a touchdown, Chiefs probably would have went for 2 and just go for the game right there. So, but yeah, the 49ers wanted the ball. The Chiefs are like, absolutely, no objections from us. Go down the field, 13 plays, 66 yards. Once again, a key rush by Chris Jones forces Brock Purdy to throw the ball away. They hold him to a field goal. 13 plays. Speaking of which, 13 plays later. I'll get to the touchdown in just a second, but what a gutsy call for that 4th and 1 on the way down the field. After Pacheco got stuffed at the line of scrimmage, Trajan could see it. I am biting my fingernails. I'm like, oh God, please don't let it end this way. Excellent play design. Bosa unblocked. He follows Pacheco on the fake run. Kelsey out front for the blocking, and Mahomes takes it himself and gets the first down, keeps the drive alive. Then later on, Mahomes gets the I'm expanding here. My phone went black, so I'm trying to go chronologically here. Pat Mahomes runs up the middle for how many yards was it on that one?
8 yard.
See, Patrick Mahomes scrambles up the middle for 19 yards. 19 yards, sets up first down. A 3-yard run by Isaiah Pacheco. 7-yard pass to Travis Kelce sets up first and goal. And I have to set the stage here, because we didn't know the overtime rules either in the living room. Even though they were, I go back and listen to it, and they were explaining it on the TV, but we were being too loud saying, why are we calling timeout? What is going on? What are we doing? Come to find out, even if the clock hit 0, then they would just go to the other side of the field. It would be like the end of the first quarter, basically. But at the end of the day, it was not needed. A lot of you might remember the play called Corn Dog last year in the Super Bowl of the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Kadarius Toney sets the motion, runs back out. The defender isn't able to follow him, wide open for the touchdown that ultimately set the tone for the end of the game. Well, that was Corn Dog. This year, it's Tom and Jerry, baby. One of my favorite cartoons when I was a kid. Mecole Hardman goes for the motion, runs back out. Mahomes fakes the handoff to Pacheco, runs to the right, wide open. Mecole Hardman, who wasn't even on the team at the beginning of the year, 13 plays on this game-winning touchdown. And the overtime winner, Kansas City, the first back-to-back Super Bowl champions since the Patriots of 2003 and 2004. What a game. What a moment. Then you got to hear all the yelling and screaming in the living room.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And you'll be back next year for the 3-peat, right? No, I'm kidding. It's
Three-peat is not happening.
It's way too early to be talking about that. Way too early.
I will bet you right now, three-peat does not happen.
Feeling very confident, are we? No. there's a lot that can happen between now and then. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna enjoy the fact that last year was a retooling year that ended up in a Super Bowl championship. This year was a down year that ended up in a Super Bowl championship. Hey, did you know that the Chiefs are undefeated in the playoffs since they got rid of Tyreek Hill? Crazy how that worked out, right?
Yeah. I mean, Tyreek Hill, you probably score more points.
Absolutely. We probably win at least 3 more of these games. We probably have the 1 seed on lock if we still had Tyreek Hill, honestly.
You probably would not have had as many nail biters and heartache this year.
Probably so. I wouldn't doubt that. Alrighty. Well, going to the stats now. We'll talk a little bit about the 49ers here. You know, hats off to Brock Purdy. Seriously, 2nd year in the league. Last year had a chance to take his team to the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, ill-timed UCL injury that happened in the NFC Championship game. Apparently, something's going wrong on your end there, but
Something's going terribly wrong. Hold
you gotta close your Pornhub tabs, all right? You gotta press pause on the video before you get started on here. Now you're muted. Unmute yourself.
Everything was muted on my screen. Like I don't know what's happening.
Oh man. It's live, folks. We're doing it live. As I was saying, you know, Brock Purdy, he wasn't perfect in this game, but he definitely wasn't terrible. Anyone that puts the blame on him for this game is a moron, in my opinion. He did what he was supposed to. I blame the play calling, if anything. Yes, they targeted Deebo Samuel. How many times here? They targeted him 11 times. Christian McCaffrey, 160 total yards. He had to be a huge part of your game plan, and you did. You got him involved. How in the world does Brandon Ayuk have only 6 targets, only 3 receptions, 49 yards, and George Kittle only 3 targets and 2 receptions? This is an offense that is stacked with weapons here. Kyle Juszczyk had more of an impact than those 2 guys, and they've been like the heart and soul of the team outside of McCaffrey and Deebo.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Go ahead.
Maybe he wasn't looking for him.
Oh. Well, if you ask Brandon Ayuk's brother, that seems to be the case. That it's those Instagram stories there.
I mean, tight end, there are definitely some design plays for it, but usually he's your security blanket.
Yeah.
And he's the third read.
Well, you brought up a good point earlier. I mean, when the defense is bringing the house against you, that's the perfect kind of player to, have those dink and dunk plays. Just get some yards out of it or something. Yes. Well, they were tearing us apart in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So.
Can't believe it.
But the San Francisco 49ers, they found their scapegoat with the firing of Steve Wilkes. I question the motive of that move, but
it's amazing that we start out with just like we thought it was going to be a defensive struggle, and they fire the
defensive coordinator, which, granted that defense is, full of a lot of studs, which brings us to the unfortunate injury that was Dre Greenlaw. That was tragic to see, and honestly, my heart fell in my stomach when I saw that too, especially when they showed the replay of him bouncing on the sideline, and he takes that first step and go to the ground. You're just like, oh, shoot. I mean, Fred Warner was all over the place. I'm pretty sure he was the leading tackler for the team. Nick Bosa was a problem the entire game. Charvarius Ward in the secondary, although it was kind of funny that it was on his watch that the game-winning touchdown was thrown to the former Chief. I completely forgot, or rather had no idea that Chris Conley was still in the league. Former Chiefs wide receiver. And we're talking back in the Alex Smith days. We're talking when we had Jeremy Maclin on our team. Chris Conley was like our wide receiver number 2.
Yep.
Like before we got Tyreek Hill. But yep, he's been their special teams guy apparently. Brock Purdy, 23 of 38, 255 yards, a touchdown pass to Jawan Jennings, who I bet if the 49ers would have won, Jawan Jennings probably would have won MVP.
Oh yeah. Maybe McCaffrey just because 160 yards.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's like, how often do you see what they say? Nick Foles was the only player in NFL history in the Super Bowl to have a receiving touchdown and a passing touchdown, and he's actually a quarterback. So, alrighty. Well, looking to the other side of things, it was definitely not a perfect day for Pat Mahomes, but he was definitely good enough. 34 of 46, 333 yards on 33-33 Al Davis way. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 66 rushing yards. He was the leading rusher for this team. Although, hats off to Isaiah Pacheco. He played his darndest, but that's a tough front four in the 49ers to run against.
Oh, and he would have been like the demon if you guys lost.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone would be calling for him.
Right. On the receiving end of things, Travis Kelce, was pretty quiet at the start of the game, but ended up with 9 receptions and 93 yards. Mecole Hardman, alongside the game-winning touchdown, 3 receptions for 57 yards, including his 52-yard completion that set them up in the red zone, which was unfortunately followed by the unfortunate fumble of Isaiah Pacheco in the red zone. Justin Watson, 3 receptions for 54 yards. Rashee Rice was that close to having the game-winning touchdown at the very end of regulation. Ended up with 6 receptions for 39 yards. That leads Pacheco with almost 100 yards from scrimmage. He ended up with 98, I believe. Almost. Mm-hmm. Or no, excuse me. No, 92. He ended up with 92 total yards. But yeah, as far as the defense, I was surprised there was only one total sack. I thought we got him more times than not, but there were a few key plays where the defensive line stuffed Christian McCaffrey, which was very meaningful, especially when it set up those third downs that the secondary stepped up and the pass rush did too. But the half sacks go to Justin Reed and George Karlaftis. George Karlaftis also with the fumble recovery early in the game. But huge shout out to Leo Chanel, not only for the strip, but also that blocked PAT that ultimately helped set up that game-tying field goal instead of having to absolutely go for the touchdown at the end. Might have made things a little different if that PAT ended up going through. So shout out to Brandon Perna's curse wheel that landed on Moody as well.
Now, has anyone checked up on him?
I think he's going into a darkness retreat right now. So he's got a whole off season to think about the fact that the Chiefs are now the leader in Super Bowl wins in the AFC West. That is just such a beautiful thing to hear.
Yeah, that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
3-3 for the Broncos and the Raiders, but it's okay if we add the Chargers Super Bowl wins, then they might.
All changing next year, right?
Apparently so. They've already won off-season champs because they got Jim Harbaugh. Oh boy. But man, 4. That's amazing. 5 years ago, you're telling me we would have 4 Super Bowls within the next 5 years. 4 Super Bowls total, rather. Excuse me. I don't want to misconstrue anything in the next 5 years. Just what a time to be a Chiefs fan right now. It definitely makes all those years of futility, all the patience, everything that happened, all the coaches, you go from Herm Edwards to Todd Haley to Romeo Crennel. You finally hit the jackpot with Andy Reid. You sniff a little bit of what it takes to be great with Alex Smith, but then you hit the jackpot again with Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I'm using jackpot because the Super Bowl was in Vegas, which, by the way, the Chiefs have more playoff wins at Allegiant than the Raiders do. It was also cool seeing Marquez plant the Chiefs flag in the middle of the field, too, in the Raiders Stadium. So now there was a flag on top of the field and below the field.
It's very true.
So,
man.
But, yes, what a year. What a year. All the adversity, you know, one of the most penalized teams, definitely had the most penalized player on their team. All the drop passes, led the league in drops. A lot of question marks with the offense this year. You know, Rashee Rice stepping up to be a number one receiver, even though he's a rookie. The defense, Steve Spagnuolo, absolutely raising this defense to a whole new level, keeping us in games when the offense was slacking this year. Just, what can you say? What a run. What a season. What a playoff run. Amazing.
But unfortunately, with every happy tale, we got to tell a sad tale tonight.
Yes, we do. So
you're the Chiefs fan.
Yeah, it was a day of joyousness, of celebration. The parade was amazing. It was, you know, there were fans everywhere. It was a joyous occasion too, and unfortunately, it ended in tragedy with a shooting going on. Can't say it was a terror attack or anything like that. Unfortunately, what they're leading to was between a couple juveniles. That's what we're being told right now, and it seemed like it was, I hate to use the word gang related, but there was a dispute is what was said. And the real tragic thing was that the majority of the victims were under the age of 15. The one individual that passed away was an adult, but even still, it's a sad state of affairs. And our thoughts and our prayers are definitely with all the victims of that unfortunate incident. Shout out to Chiefs Kingdom and to the Chiefs players that went out to Children's Mercy and gave their support and helped try to make at least as much as you can a positive situation out of a huge negative. It's a sad situation when you try to go out and have a great time and it's marred by something as serious and sad as that. So, but yes, our best well wishes to the victims of that unfortunate incident, and we just can. Fortunately, we live in a world where we can always hope that that something like that never happens again. But it'd be almost foolish to say that especially what's going on halfway across the planet right now.
Yeah,
there's always going to be that kind of situation. So,
and the biggest thing is, I think you're lucky stars you didn't go like you were wanting to.
Absolutely. Even I had some friends of mine that live in the Kansas City area that were there, and I was happy to hear that none of them were affected. We even had a coworker of ours that was present at the parade too, but luckily they weren't near where it happened, close to Union Station. So, but yeah, it's a sad state of affairs.
Yep.
So,
but we get to look forward to the downfall of the Chiefs this next year. The disciplineless team that yells at their coach and bumps into them, spilling over even more. Oh, how I can't wait.
Oh man. You know how I said if this Chris Jones that causes trouble and causes stupid penalties doesn't come back, sounds like he wants to come back. So I hope I get the Chris Jones that was a game wrecker in the playoffs and kept his head on his shoulders too. Yeah, that was that's the deal. It's like it was blown. I won't say completely out of proportion because it's still pretty serious. You don't want to see your players yelling at your coach. But luckily, it's the player that kind of has that good relationship with the coach where the coach wasn't really affected by it at all. So
I say that's true, but it's also true that your young players are having problem being disciplined. and your vets that are supposed to be the gold standard for your organization aren't showing that. Can't wait till next year to rub it in your face.
Well, they've got a whole offseason to at least get their head back on their shoulders, and we hope to see that they have their eyes on the prize rather than any petty feelings too. I was talking to you, Kadarius Toney, but also two-time Super Bowl champion Kadarius Toney. So there you go.
Yeah, participation trophy.
Boy, it sure was too. The way this season went for him. Oof. So, alrighty. That's the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. What a season. We will be back next week. There is already a heap of off-season news, off-season drama that we got to go into. A lot of coaching changes. A lot of coaches being fired. A lot of coaches being hired, including someone that I'm sure you're just dying to talk about on the Steelers staff this year.
Yes. Super Bowl, here we come.
Should we do I don't want to talk about it for next week when we talk about him? No, I'm kidding. We won't do that. We won't do that. But yes, we look forward to talking about all the off-season news next week. Probably talk a little bit about what's going on with the draft. Who do we think we will go after in April? And boy, am I excited to find out what the schedule is come May. So on that note, Trajan, any final thoughts on the Super Bowl recap this week?
No, it's you've said enough. I'm ready to be done with this.
Oh, come on. We were just starting to have fun about it.
There is no fun in this.
There's only pain. Only pain. And you know what? My villain arc only causes pain. And I am here for it. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining us all this season. We look forward to seeing you, next week, I guess, too, but we look forward to seeing you all next season when we go for Season 4. Season 4. 4-time Super Bowl champs. Season 4. It all makes sense. It's a conspiracy. It's all a script.
Oh, geez.
Right.
No, it's crazy.
Absolutely. Thank you all again so much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all of your friends. And we'll see you all next week.